All right, we made it through. We made it through. Congratulations. Good job. The battle's not done, though. The battle is not done. We're on to the elimination stage. A lot of people are choosing the same exact picks for this stage, and it makes sense because of the weight, the value that these organizational logos hold. How are you going to say no to a G2 logo, to a Navi logo, to Vitality, Spirit, Mouse, FaZe, for all the success that those logos stand for? It doesn't matter that Gamer Legion looked really impressive, and beat out some good teams like Pain and Furia. It doesn't matter that Pain themselves is probably the best team in Brazil right now at this current point. I'm not saying in a vacuum Furia is not. It doesn't matter that MIBR it looks extremely solid the way that they're built and the stars that they have. Um, it doesn't matter that wild card. Like, how are you going to bet against them? You're just going to have to, or so says everybody's pick'ems, and so says mine as well. We're going to go with Navi Vitality as our 3-0. G2, I'm pretty sure they're going to lose that Mongols matchup, and I'm not taking the risk on that. If I knew which way that matchup was going, then I would tell you guys right now. It's going to go the Mongols' way. I know which way it's going to go. Then you're saying, why don't you just put Mongols in 3-0? The way that they're playing right now, they're a good fit. And I'm telling you guys, that's a good pick. Go ahead and put Mongols 3-0. But just go back to Copenhagen and realize they didn't even make it past the top 8. And they lost to some rough teams. They didn't even go 2-3, they went 1-3. So I don't know that Mongols has really earned themselves the status of being 3-0, especially when, if we're being honest, they're probably the team I'm most confident about going through, period, here. They're the team with the least holes. They're the team that has played pretty well this year, but that also at the current form, they stomped the last stage, so they're warmed up. They have that buff going through them. They had to play the opening stage, unlike a lot of these other top tier teams. Plus, they're like the fifth best team in the world according to Valve's rankings. They've honestly gotten robbed to the point where they shouldn't have had to play last stage. But they're here now. So Mongols for sure going through. Lock that in. Navi, I'm also 100% sure is going to go through. Vitality is kind of just shot in the dark at the 3-0. Uh, there's a decent chance that Navi and Vitality might fight face up. They might match each other. And so a lot of people are picking G2 for that reason. Okay, I get it. Pick Navi G2 if that's what you want, but I'm not picking G2 against Mongols. I'm not picking Spirit with the way they played in the RMR. I'm not picking Maus because of we don't really know if they could even go to the next stage or not. Sometimes they just fall off a cliff. I'm not picking FaZe as much as I kind of want to with the first game against Wildcard, and because I just feel like this is going to be a Wildcard FaZe that we're drawing out of the deck here. We don't know if it's good, but I'm pretty sure if it is Kerrigan's last major, if he is dealing with some heartbreak, that they're going to play pretty damn well, and I guarantee that FaZe is actually going to make it through to the next. So I'll be pretty confident with that, and I'll say that FaZe is going to make it through the next stage. Rain is playing really well. Um, Rops, broken, frozen. Just a really good team, bro. Like, how are you gonna pick them against? How are you gonna pick a weak Furia team against them? How are you gonna pick a heroic team against them? How are you gonna pick some of these lower tier teams that aren't the best? They aren't the G2s of the world, which is also gonna go through. They aren't the Spirits of the world, which are also gonna go through. They aren't the Mouses of the world, but it is FaZe. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit older with some of their core guys. This is still one of the best teams in the world. Does that mean that they won't get beaten by a team like, say, Passion UA if they were here? No, absolutely. FaZe would get beaten by Passion UA. I would bet my house that Passion UA would beat FaZe in a best of one. That doesn't matter. In a best of three, in this bracket, I'm not picking them against anybody else to lose, okay? I'm not picking them against anybody down here to lose in a series. So, this is what your top five should look like, in my opinion. And then everybody has this, okay? So it's no real confusion. It's this last spot, and I'll make you wait. This last spot, which is the confusion. What are you gonna put in that last 3-1, 3-2 advanced spot? But for the O3s, this is tough, guys. I'm going to go Gamer Legion here for the first one. I think if you look at the majors.im website and you look at the simulation of the games and you see who they're going to end up facing, they're starting off with Vitality. I feel pretty good about Vitality taking that, not making any mistakes that would lead to them throwing a best of one in their case. I think Vitality is a pretty dependable best of one team. I'd say that there's a higher likelihood that Vitality goes 1-0 than Navi. Navi is facing Liquid in that first matchup, so not to backtrack here and to cause confusion and to cause a little bit of doubt in the pick that I've told you I believe in, but I believe in the Navi 3-0. But Navi's facing Liquid in that first best of one, and that definitely, without a doubt, could go Liquid's way. There's no doubt about that. Even if Liquid don't move into the next stage, Liquid could still beat Navi in that first matchup. Um, Liquid could even be an 0-3 candidate, and I would still say there's a chance. So, like, even if you're totally bearish on Liquid, you have to admit the fact that they've beaten Navi twice, I think, with this current roster, and then in a best of one against Navi, a team that's feeling pretty good about their ability to squeak by in whatever means possible, that they might let one go against Liquid, who's hungry, wanting to prove themselves. And so, obviously, I'm talking a lot about Liquid and Navi right now. It's because I'm considering Liquid for that last spot. I'm considering Pain for that last spot. I've considered MIBR for that last spot, actually. I think that there's a likelihood that either one of these two Brazilian teams can squeak in. Um, and then I'm considering Liquid. But let's move on. We're trying to keep this short and brief. Gamer Legion gonna go 0-1. And then if you look at their matchups, I mean, in a series against Big, in a series against Wild Card, I suppose, is the only team that I would confidently bet on GL beating. But even Wild Card right now, like their name says, they are hard to predict, and I think that you can't just anymore say, "Oh, they're just this combination of random misfits from like the free agent pool that they just threw them together and they've just worked out." Like, no, there was obviously some deliberation here in putting two Swedes together and putting JBA and Stanislaw together, as well as Sonic, who's been in the NA sort of scene playing with those guys for a while. There was thought that went into this, and this roster works well together. There's a lot more thought that has gone into building the Falcons roster or the Vitality roster. When I say thought, I'm not talking about actual like logic and reason that's been put down on a piece of paper. But people don't doubt you when you say, yeah, we're going to bring back Magisk and Dupree and put them on a team together. Everything will be fine. They've won majors, but they see Susp and Fuzi on an NA team, and they're like, what are these guys doing here? Clearly, they were desperate for European talent. Like, no, Wildcard is a real team. So putting them in the 0-3 here is just saying, oh, I didn't watch the last stage. I didn't watch the last stage. But I don't know, guys. What else do you want me to do? Do you think Wildcard's going to beat Big in a series? Not with their roster the way it is right now. I'm not betting against Big, even though they don't look good. Big could easily be in here. It could be like this, you know? Um, but I think the higher the seed, and a couple of analysts have covered this in their videos. I don't exactly know how the Buchholz system works, but um, if you bet on an 0-3 team, bet on them in the higher seeds because there's a higher likelihood they'll face better teams, if that makes sense. This first matchup, MIBR gets a gimme against 3D Max. Uh, Wildcard, unfortunately, has to face FaZe. And I feel like once they get that 0-1, I think it's going to be some negative momentum that's going to push them through. I'm going to go ahead and lock in Gamer Legion and Wildcard as my 0-3, and I'm going to call it a day. I feel pretty dang confident about those two. You know, both those guys could go 2-3. They could go 1-3. Shoot, maybe one of them could get through into the breach style. Maybe one of these teams that absolutely nobody believes in could get through. Sure, why not? It's the major. It's Shanghai. It's perfect world. Anything can happen. But in the spirit of keeping this brief, guys, this last spot, I'm gonna have to go with. That's right. It's Liquid. It's Liquid, guys. I mean, it's not just because I'm a fanboy. Um, I am. All right, I'll be honest with that. Uh, a fanboy in a realistic way, though. A fanboy who's the first one to bring the hate train. Man, I love to hate Liquid. I love to hate Liquid, man. There's nothing more than I like. Honestly, a good Liquid, a good Liquid terrible game just brightens my mood sometimes. I love to hate Liquid just to see them like throw, easy rounds, just to see them lose to a team that's worse than them. I love to hate Liquid. I'm a big fan, though. I'm a big fan. It's kind of like my relationship with myself. I love myself. I hate myself. Okay. Anyways, Liquid can definitely take Heroic, 3D Max, GL, Pain, Big, Furia, Wildcard, MIBR. All those teams, I would say that Liquid is going to be the favorite in those matchups. And with that, That's it. That's all I need to know. What do the Vegas odds say? I think the Vegas odds are leaning liquid. And it's not that I'm all hail. I don't gamba, all right, or anything like that. I'm not putting my money on the line, but I am putting my money on the liquid. Liquid is getting through, my guys. I'm locking it in. The picks have already been saved. Here, I'll do this just for effect. Lock it in, baby. Do I feel great about putting GL in the O3? Hell no. Wild card? Hell no. I mean, this should be easy. This should be very easy. Okay? It should be very easy, but Pick'em's rarely is. Pick'em's rarely is. All right, guys. That's it. Hopefully, we'll see you in the next stage. Thanks for spending the time. Best of luck.